do a Solar Flame.
I just played with Joe Martin on bass, who I've been playing with for basically since I moved to New York, or just a little bit after I moved to New York, so almost 13 years that we've been playing on and off in different bands, and in my band and in his band sometimes. And then Jonathan Pinson, who has been a regular drummer in my trio for the past 2-3 years, and from LA originally. Great guy, great drummer. The entire first part of the set was from the upcoming record that's going to come out in September. If I have to put it into words, I guess I would, in a way, I'm trying to describe what it is to be a human being through music, maybe in ways that are hard to describe in words. I guess if I keep that in mind, it helps me make the right choices in the art form. All the pedals that I have on my pedal board, they're all a result of a sound that I imagined. It would basically start with an idea, let's say, I wish I had more register, or I wish I could sustain a chord, or I wish there could be like a more atmospheric sound, or you know what I mean? So like it's all desire for sound, and then I just find the pedal that serves that. Yeah, in a way I do use some of the pedals as orchestrational tools. And then sometimes some of them are just a regular part of my sound, just helps me get the sound that I'm trying to get from a lot of different amps, because I travel a lot and I play different amps every night. So some pedals are just there to help me for that specific reason. New York can be experienced in so many different ways. It's a big place with many different scenes. That's what makes it unique, that there's so many musicians and all are at the highest level of what they do, from all different genres, even like streams of a certain genre, and you can find some great masters in all those things. So just first of all, being around that energy elevates you kind of without you even trying to be elevated. But then the more you seek that energy, the more you can get from it, obviously. So. I guess, yeah, just being around so many great artists makes you eventually a better artist if you're open to learning from it and trying to seek information from it. For me personally, I don't care so much about what the definition of jazz is. Is this jazz? Is this not jazz? Is this fusion? Blah blah blah. I don't think about my music necessarily as jazz. I mean, I wouldn't be insulted if somebody called it jazz, but I'm not trying for it to be jazz. I just play what I hear and I have my influences, and if you told me that's not jazz, I'd be like, cool, that's all right, that's not jazz, fine. And then if you say that's jazz, I'll be like, okay. Like I care more about what you hear than how you define it.
Hi, how's it going? This is Kurt Rosenwinkel. I'm here at the Brno Jazz Festival with my band, the Caipi Band. And Caipi is my last record that I put out on my own label, Hardcore Records. And we're doing some touring this spring. And it's my favorite musicians, some from Brazil and New York and Berlin, where I live. So we're having a blast and we're really psyched. The material we're doing is material that I've wrote over the course of the last 10 years. It was a project that developed on its own in parallel with all my other projects. And it came to fruition about a year and a half ago, and we've been touring heavily this past year. And it's music that has elements of Brazilian music and also of rock music and my own particular style of writing and jazz and improvisation. And there's a lot of lyric songs and everybody pretty much almost everybody is singing, so it's a very joyous kind of togetherness feeling and a lot of adventurous musical discoveries. Well, for me, jazz is improvisational music that has its roots in African American society in the United States, not exclusively, but just basically, generally, culturally. And you know, when I grew up in Philadelphia, I fell in love with that music and also the community spirit that it has. And to be in touch with a continuum of culture and art that you feel that you can be a part of and participate in. You know, jazz has gone on to mean a lot of different things, and it's always the question, you know, what is jazz? And you know, it really doesn't get any clearer when anybody says what it is, but because everybody has their own relationship to it. But that's the same as any music, really. You know, it's very personal. Music affects people in very unique ways, you know. So for me, it's about that. It's about my roots in Philly, and it's about my evolution as an artist and human being and composer, and expressing my own music. I consider it, you know, at the same time part of a continuum, and at the same time very much my own music. So there's a lot of songs that we play now that are part of what will be the next album. So it's kind of like time is progressing, and the evolution of the music is progressing too. So we're kind of in between these two albums, kind of. So we're playing a repertoire that's kind of almost half and half of both. The new stuff is part of the same. I still consider it, you know, like the same band, the same direction, but I think the new music is closer more towards rock music than it is towards Brazilian music or jazz music. You know, it's kind of like a part of me that's always been there, that's coming through a little bit more now. It's just my songs. Yeah.
All right, Brno, thank you so much. Hold on.